My peoples, welcome to Box Center. You already know I'm your host, Jay Smith, in the flesh. Man, this your favorite boxing show for a reason. So go ahead and check me out, man. For real. Floyd Mayweather fighting today. A little exhibition with John Gotti the third. I'm interested in seeing that just because you saw that melee that went down the last time they fought, in the ring. It got crazy. And you know that there's bad blood between those two, not just between Floyd and Gotti, but between their camps, who traded blows the last time around. So I'm kind of interested in seeing how this is gonna unfold. Plus, in the undercard, we're gonna get Kermel Moulton making his fifth professional fight. So I'm looking forward to that. You know that Kermel, he a special fighter. He's doing special things already in his early career. And I expect a lot from Kermel. You already know. Tune in, man. Let's see what Kermel gonna do tonight. Is he gonna get another stoppage? Is he gonna go the distance? I don't know, but what I can tell you is that Kermel always shows us little flashes of what he's going to be. Greatness. So I expect him to, win in beautiful fashion, regardless of, whether or not it goes the distance. Kermel gonna do what he do. Yeah. Beautiful Saturday morning here in the Dominican Republic. Nice sunny weather. And yo, I'm just waiting, for the fireworks tonight. Because I know Kermel's going to let them hands fly. And then, not just Kermel Moon going to let them hands fly. Floyd Mayweather, he got that bad blood with Arturo Gotti the third. So even though it's an exhibition fight, trust me, Floyd and Arturo Gotti, they're going to trade blows. Because like this dude, he really feels like he could do something to Floyd. He feel like Floyd is older and him being younger and in good physical shape. Because Arturo Gotti definitely is in good physical shape. I mean, not Arturo Gotti, John Gotti the third. He's in good physical shape, so he probably feels like, yeah, I could beat Floyd. Floyd is older already. And that's why that last exhibition fight played out the way that it did. He was really trying to knock Floyd's head off. And then Floyd had to take it serious on him and put the beats on him, which resulted in a melee. That was a pure melee at the end of their first exhibition. So that's the reason why I'm really interested in seeing how is it going to play out now. What's up, Sensei? Appreciate you jumping in, my boy. You already know, Box Center, your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. I promise you, my people, subscribe to this channel for the serious boxing content. But like I was saying, I'm looking forward to, Floyd Mayweather and John Gotti the third. I know that it's an exhibition fight, but yeah, I saw, man, the last time they really went at it. Floyd Mayweather and traded blows. And let's see how it's going to play out now. Again, my people, subscribe to the channel. Check out the video. Check out the content that we got here going on. If you love boxing, Box Center is going to be one of your favorite boxing shows. I promise you that. Sensei, you got a question. Can I ask you a question? Go ahead. Ask away, buddy. There's some upcoming fights. I'm really, to be honest, for tonight, what I'm looking forward to the most is Kermel Moulton. His fifth professional fight. A lot of expectations. We're expecting greatness from Kermel. And tonight, he's going to win in beautiful fashion. And then, of course, looking forward to seeing what Floyd Mayweather is going to do, what John Gotti the third is going to do. How serious is this fight going to get? It's supposed to be an exhibition, but there's some bad blood. These two guys, if you've seen when Floyd Mayweather and John Gotti the third had that first exhibition fight, it was pure mayhem at the end of the fight. They was landing blows from mutual corners in the ring. Asu Rodrick, what's good, my guy? You want to major in cybersecurity. Well, I don't know shit about cybersecurity, my guy. But if you want to major in boxing, grab the box center. I got you, Sensei. I got you, my guy. But yeah, my people, there's some good fights coming up, man. And then, the speculation, we were all expecting for Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson to fight each other when Lomachenko stepped out of the fight with Tank. So I'm disappointed that we didn't get Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson next. I really was looking forward to that, and I thought it could happen. Yo, Kendorama, if you love boxing, I promise you, this is where it's at right here. Take the moment to look at some of my videos so you can see the videos that I make. I have to talk boxing. I put up a lot of videos, about big fights. I also cover amateur boxing. So I promise you there's going to be content on here that you're going to enjoy, my peoples. Box Center is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show, my peoples. Go ahead and subscribe. I promise you won't be disappointed. How can you begin a career in boxing? Well, that depends because, what exactly do you mean begin a career? Do you want to be a boxer yourself? If you want to be a boxer yourself, then it's going to depend how old you are. Do you still have time, to develop as a boxer? I appreciate you subscribing, my brother. I promise you will not be disappointed. Right here in Box Center, you're getting the fire boxing content. Straight the hell up. At 21 years old, you can still be a boxer. I have to tell you, that's still a little bit late to start off. But there are boxers at 21. Time is against you. If you want to start at 21 years old, you have to dedicate a lot of time, a lot of effort if you want to make it as a professional boxer. But the first step would be to look for a trainer, look for a gym. You find a trainer in a gym and you start training. If you start training and you work really hard, within 5-6 months you can make your debut as an amateur boxer, and then go from there, see how good you feel, and then turn pro. But you have to find a trainer and a boxing gym. I appreciate you, my guy. You already know we're going to keep, letting the peoples know what are the best fights to happen, the predictions, who's going to win that fight. I know that it's been a controversial decision that I predicted Shakur is going to beat Tank Davis and Terrence Crawford is going to beat Canelo Álvarez. Those are two predictions that a lot of people are going against. I know a lot of people are predicting Tank Davis to knock Shakur out. And people also predicting Canelo Álvarez to knock Terrence Crawford out. So I'm going with the underdogs. It's crazy to believe it, but Shakur would be the underdog against Tank Davis. Canelo would be the underdog against Bud. So both of those fights, I'm rooting for the underdog. And not just rooting, I'm predicting that they're both going to win convincingly. Maybe by unanimous decision in both cases. But that's how it's going down. I'm trying to tell you. See, the thing is that most people, I'm not sure if that's the case with you, Ray Ren 214. A lot of people feel like Bud cannot win that fight because of the divisions. Oh, Canelo's at 168. He's a couple of divisions away from Crawford. That's really the main thing that people say, but nobody really talk about skills. Nobody really says, "Oh, Crawford doesn't have the skills to beat Canelo." It all breaks down to the division. What weight class Canelo fighting in. But we have to keep in mind, and I think everybody ignores that. Canelo is not a big dude, my guy. Canelo a small guy. In the 168 division, everybody that Canelo has faced is bigger than him. Like, it's been known that Canelo's a small guy. So the narrative that Canelo is too big for Terence Crawford, I don't even know how that got started. Because yeah, he is in the 168 division, but he a small 168 pounder. I be telling people, yo, Canelo's not a big dude. If you put Terence Crawford and Canelo Álvarez right next to each other, bro, they about the same size. Canelo don't look a lot bigger than Crawford. It's not like we're looking at a featherweight next to a heavyweight and the size difference is huge. There's a gap there that you're like, there's no way. Nah, yo, they're about the same size, my dude. And Charlo has a pedigree. Well, but that's irrelevant. What Charlo has or doesn't have has nothing to do with Terence Bud Crawford. There's different type of fighters with different type of styles. Besides, Mel Charlo had already got his ass beat by J-Rock. So Canelo wasn't the first guy to beat him. He had already took a loss. But again, when Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford finally stand face to face with each other, y'all gonna be surprised. Like, Canelo's not a big dude. He's not gonna look a lot bigger than Crawford like a lot of people think. Not going down like that. Crawford is actually a little bit taller and has more reach than Canelo. And by the way, you said Charlo has pedigree. You know who has pedigree? Floyd Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol. They have pedigree. They both beat Canelo easily. That's what a lot of people ignore. The two fighters who beat Canelo, they not power punchers. They didn't need weight to beat Canelo. They outboxed him for 12 rounds and even made it look easy. They made Canelo look bad in both of those fights. So when Canelo lost, it wasn't even competitive. It wasn't a fight where you could say, oh, it got stolen from him, or they cheated him, or it was close. Yo, Bivol beat the shit out of him, and Floyd too. So if you see these guys that don't carry a lot of power, that are not knocking everybody out, and they outbox Canelo for 12 rounds, why Crawford cannot outbox Canelo for 12 rounds the same way? Same deal. Listen, look at this. Let me show you something about the weight, which makes it interesting. You see how a lot of people are saying that Terence Crawford barely handled 154, so he's not going to be able to do it at 168. I want you to consider this, my brother. If you watch that fight with Terence Crawford and this dude that he fought, Madrimov, Madrimov did not put his weight on Crawford. He did not bully Crawford. He was not walking Crawford down and beating him up. He didn't hurt him not even once during the fight. In fact, Madrimov himself was very cautious throughout the fight not to get clipped. So if this fight played out the way that it did, it had absolutely nothing to do with weight and everything to do with Madrimov's style. Madrimov has a difficult style to decipher, and he's a very good fighter, and that's the reason why it went 12 rounds. But he didn't put his weight on Bud. So when anybody say, well, he couldn't handle 154, that even had nothing to do with weight class. Yo, Gregory, what's good, my G? Appreciate you hopping in, my guy. You already know what it is. We talking Terence Crawford, Canelo Álvarez, Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, all that good stuff. Canelo has the bully factor. Okay. And look, that's reasonable. If you think he's gonna win that fight, that's reasonable because he is gonna be the favorite. But the bully factor that you're talking about did not work against Dimitri Bivol. It took him down. He was not able to impose his weight on Crawford to hurt him. So it all that fight played out the way that it did because of skills. Madrimov. All right, my bad. I had a call coming in, so I got muted automatically. That's why. I'm guessing that you can. When it comes to Terrence, and because at the tail end of his career, he already had a situation. There's no way I can't picture Canelo making a stupid mistake like trying to do steroids to fight anybody, and everything goes down the window right there for him. Like, the last time he kind of got lucky because the hair sample tested negative, and also there was testimony to support his claim that he could have taken some tainted meat, and that's why he tested positive, which he had a good argument to make about that. But if he tests positive again, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So I don't even, I wouldn't entertain that because I don't think would take steroids, especially at the tail end of his career. His legacy's already right there. His spot in the Hall of Fame is right there. I don't think he's gonna risk all of that trying to take steroids to fight, one of these guys. I don't see it. I think he'll fight clean and may the better man win. Again, a lot of people are predicting Canelo to beat Crawford, even to knock him out. I don't have a problem with that because I know he's going to be the favorite. So when somebody's the favorite, what happened? Most people are going to root for them to win. Most people are going to bet for them to win. But I still got Terrence Crawford pulling off the upset. The same thing with Shakur Stevenson. A lot of people are saying Tank is going to knock him out. Now, I want you to think about this because, fans of boxing almost always pick power punchers over boxers. Like, that's what happened in most cases. But I want you to think about this. A lot of people, or most people, picked Pitbull Cruz to knock El Rayo Valenzuela out. And look what happened. Look what happened. El Rayo Valenzuela put on a clinic. Put the beats on Pitbull, walked out of there with the W. Against all odds. So what happened in this case? The boxer beat the puncher. And that's what I be trying to tell people. It's like, that's the most common thing that we see, when the puncher and the boxer are going to fight. Oh, the puncher's going to knock him out. The puncher's going to knock him out. It doesn't always play that way. It doesn't. Great boxers beat great punchers all the time when they match up with each other. Look at Sugar Ray Leonard when he fought Marvelous Marvin Hagler. The boxer won. Look at Evander Holyfield when he fought Mike Tyson. People thought Mike Tyson was going to knock him out in that first fight. Evander won. I just told ya, Rayo Valenzuela versus Pitbull Cruz. Once again, sweet science beats power almost every single time, my people. Nagano versus Joshua. So, Nagano versus Joshua is two power punchers throwing haymakers. Whoever get hit first is going to be done. But It's fair to say that between the two, Joshua would be the boxer. But I don't even judge that fight just because Nagano's not a boxer. Man. He's an MMA fighter that can strike. He's an MMA fighter that can punch. I believe he was competitive against Fury because Fury just wasn't ready for that fight. None of us were. We thought he would just wash him. And Fury just getting older in front of us. His time, I believe Tyson Fury, his time is already done. He's already going to start going downhill from here. Bigger boxers beat smaller boxer every time also. Where did you get that from? Terrence Crawford is the smaller boxer and he beat Errol Spence badly. Where did you get that from? The smaller guy won. Where did you get that from? Tank Davis is the smaller boxer in every one of his fights and he wins. What are you talking about? You see, that's the problem. You make an assessment and it's easy to debunk it if we look at the stats. The bigger, look, small, Pac-Man is smaller than Thurman. He won. Small, winners are not based on size at all. And it's not an exception like you're saying because there's a bunch of smaller fighters that won. Like that. The list is endless. You know who wins most of the time? The most skilled boxer. Not the bigger guy, not the taller guy, not the shorter guy. The most skilled boxer. That's who usually wins in most cases. So that's what I'm telling you. Terrence Crawford is a more skilled boxer than Canelo Álvarez. And that's hard to say. That's hard to say because I know Canelo's skills. I know people think that I'm a Canelo hater or something like that. Go look at my videos about Canelo. Canelo's one of the greatest of all time, arguably the greatest Mexican boxer of all time. I give him his flowers. I just happen to believe that Bud Crawford is a better boxer and has the tools and resources to outbox him, just like Floyd did and just like Dimitri Bivol did as well. There you have it. Tank beat the crap out of Rolly, and Rolly was the bigger guy in any way you can measure them. I'm telling you, my people, listen. To me, the two most important fights in boxing is Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson and Buck Crawford versus Canelo Álvarez. Those are hands down, to me, I'm giving you my opinion, the two biggest fights in boxing that need to be made. Now, remember, Canelo Álvarez reached out to His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh and stated that he's willing to negotiate after he get done with Berlanga. I think we all agree Canelo's gonna wash Berlanga. He gonna wash him. Wash, spin cycle type of washing. So from there, is he gonna, get back to the negotiation tables with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh? And listen, His Excellency wants two fights for Canelo: David Benavidez and Bud Crawford. Those are two fights the fans want to see. We all want to see those two fights. So you know what I think? Since Canelo's going to have the option to pick one of those two, I think he's going to pick Bud Crawford. It's already been a bunch of years. We already know he doesn't want to fight Benavidez. That's not the fight that he wants. And if he don't want that fight, and he's already said he believes Crawford is going to be easy money, that's why I think he's going to go after Terrence Crawford. And we'll have the opportunity to find out who is the best out of Buck Crawford and Canelo Álvarez. Put some highlights up right. What do you mean put some highlights up right, my guy? Kind of lost me on that. Now, I tell you what, guys. You know what's a super fight also that is just bound to happen? Bam Rodriguez versus the monster Naoya Inoue. Yo, that's gonna be an explosive super fight. Who you picking? If Inoue and Bam fight each other, who y'all picking? You know that Inoue, obviously, he's making history left and right. But Bam, at 22 years old, he's making history left and right too. And what I believe is going to end up happening, if they both keep winning, which they probably will, when Inoue goes up to 126, he might go straight for Bam. Imagine that. Imagine he makes his debut in the division by challenging Bam for his titles. Remember, Inoue still hasn't moved up to 126, which is going to allow Bam to keep racking up them belts. Mess around. By the time Inoue wants to go up, Bam is undisputed in the division, the way he's going. So he's going to have to see. Inoue move up, he's going to have to see Bam if he want a strap. And of course, he's going to want it. Danny Garcia or Lara. That's a fight, man, that I want to see. I don't know if y'all remember, but they were supposed to fight last year. And for whatever reason, that fight fell off. And now it's back on again. It's hard for me to make a pick on that fight. And the reason I say that, number one, we already know it's going to be a slugfest. But I'm not sure what type of fight. I know Danny's coming in to bang it out. But I don't know how Lara is going to show up. Is Lara going to try to use the footwork and move around a lot and try to stay away from Danny? Because Lara could make it a boring fight. And if he makes it a boring fight, I believe he could beat Danny like that. If he just try to, move around a lot, use the jab, move around some more, clinch, a couple punches, clinch, move. If he makes it that type of fight, I think he could beat Danny. If they're going to fight, if they're going to trade blows, I got Danny winning this. It's not too many people that could sit in the pocket and trade with Danny Garcia. I'm telling you that shit right now. If they sit there and they trade blows, Danny mess around, stop him. Because the thing about boxing, man, is that people often forget about what a fighter has done. People forget about a fighter's skills. They just look at the last performance. Oh, he lost versus Arrow, or he hasn't won a title yet after that loss. Danny Garcia is one of them dudes who's an elite level fighter. And he has been inactive for a while, but Erislandi's Lara been inactive too. They both been inactive. So it's not like he's going to come in and fight somebody who's been super active and he's coming like that. They both been inactive. They both going to have a little bit of ring rust. And then, it's going to get heated out there. And once that happens, some punches going to be flying left and right. No. Listen. Lara got his skills. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying he doesn't. But what I'm saying is, Danny Garcia, if they get on the inside and trade blows, Danny's going to hurt him and get him out of there. Because that's the thing. You can have all the skills in the world, but when you get hurt, those skills go out the window. And then you're just going on instinct. So, now, that's why I said, Lara, if he goes to the footwork and the moving around and maybe even clinching, he could win that fight. He could beat Danny like that. Yeah, Danny didn't do good against Jose. It's Jose Benavidez. He didn't do well. I would have said that he didn't do good. He didn't look spectacular. He didn't look, whoa. But he won the fight. He did what he had to do to walk out of there with the W. King Grayson, what's good, my guy? You know what? I agree with you 100%. Danny has to be aggressive. You know that Lara, I'll tell you this right now. Lara Lara gets ahead on the cards by the 7th or 8th rounds, if he's comfortably ahead, Danny's not gonna be able to win that fight. It's done. It's a done deal. Because if he's ahead in the cards by that, that late into the fight, he's gonna start using that footwork, keeping that jab out there, clinching, and Danny will not be able to catch up. So he has to start off real aggressive. He has to win early rounds so that Lara can try to come after him, and then he can. You guys know that Danny Garcia's he's still one of the best counter punchers in the game. People sleep on Danny. Danny's a great counter puncher, But if Lara's ahead on points, there ain't gonna be no counter punching when this guy's gonna be using his footwork and just moving around and just staying ahead on the cards. You know what? I'm gonna have to agree. Danny does look a little bit robotic, but look what Ray Ren is saying, man. He gives up rounds, and that's what I don't like. Especially early rounds, Danny Garcia tends to kind of fill his opponents out, and in fact, oftentimes he waits for them to get aggressive on him first before he start retaliating with his own aggression. So, I agree. I agree with King Grayson. Start off aggressive from the beginning, win early round, not get behind on the cards, because I'm telling you, yo, if he gets behind on the cards, he ain't gonna be able to make it up. Erislandy Lara is an elite level boxer. He's gonna have that height and reach on Danny, so he's gonna keep that stick out there. He's gonna keep that stick out there, and whenever Danny close the gap, 1-2, maybe 1-2-3, and clinch or back down, and that's something constant, yo. Erislandy Lara, he don't play that. He's a real good boxer. Ray Ren, I appreciate you subscribing to the channel, my brother. And like I tell everybody, yo, check out the videos. Like, I don't just go live. I make a lot of videos. I make a lot of shorts. Check those videos out, man. I promise you, when you see it, you're going to understand why Box Center is going to be one of the best boxing shows on social media, period. On YouTube, on Instagram, wherever you find Box Center, I promise you, I'm going to be giving y'all some of the best boxing content. Some of the best, sometimes most controversial opinions, but this is my deal, my people. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. It's impossible for everybody to agree with any opinion. But what I want you to see is that my opinions, they come from real knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I've been involved with boxing. I am involved with boxing right now. I run the press for the elite level amateur boxing here in Santiago, Dominican Republic. So I am in boxing. I'm not just talking because I watch a lot of TV and I watch a lot of social media. I'm giving you information. I'm also, I got some connections within boxing, people that give me information from the source. So you're going to get some real boxing content over here, my peoples. Real talk. Oh, yeah. Aki TV, he be talking facts. To be honest, the part about taking notes, I wouldn't tell you that I'll take notes, and I'm going to tell you why, right? If you go back, when you have the opportunity, check out some of my videos, right, and some of my shorts. And what you're going to notice is that Box Center is different from everything else. There is nothing like Box Center. I promise you, you never seen nothing like this before. That's why a lot of people, who see the videos for the first time, they'll hit me up like, yo, this is different. Like, I'll give you an example. I go with fighters, with boxers, and I go running with them. And I'll make videos, me running with the boxers, while they're preparing for a tournament, for example. And you never seen somebody interview a boxer while they running together. I've done that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that I do on Box Center that you'll never see anywhere else. And that's why I say I'm not really taking a page from someone else. I know that he does talk facts. You know what I'm saying? Aki TV, he talk that talk. And Blue Blood Sports TV. Blue Blood is my guy. Yo, he talk facts. Blue Blood, I know he's literally connected to the people on the inside. So a lot of times, Blue Blood Sports will give you information before it even comes out to the public. And people will be saying, you lying, you lying. And then the next day, the information that he said comes out. And it's like, oh, shit, he was telling the truth. So, there's some boxing people out there that they got their knowledge. They giving you that real deal Holyfield. Blue Blood Sports is one of them. That's one of my plugs right there. That's my guy. But that's me too. I take facts over opinion. And I formulate my opinions based on facts. Like, let me give you an example. You see how I tell you I feel like Crawford is going to beat Canelo? I'm not just saying that because, I'm a Crawford fan and because of that, I think he's going to win. It has nothing to do with that. Let me show you so you can see where I draw that conclusion from. Number one, how old is Terence Crawford right now? He's 36 years old, right? How old was Floyd Mayweather when he beat Canelo Álvarez? 36 years old. So all I'm telling you, that's a fact that the age of Terence Crawford is not going to hinder him in that fight when Floyd Mayweather beat Canelo at that same age. Crawford is even at an advantage because now Canelo is not in his 20s. Canelo's, I think, 34 years old. So they're not at an age where Canelo's too young and Canelo and Crawford is at the end of his career. Today in 2024, Terence Crawford and Canelo Álvarez are both at the tail end of their career. So those are two facts. That's a fact. And both of them are at the tail end of their career. That's a fact. So I'm using those two facts to come up with my opinion, right? Here's another fact that I'm using to come up with my opinion. Canelo Álvarez is a very small 168 pounder. He's always been considered small. This is the first time in Canelo's career where somebody's talking about he's too big. Oh, he's too big, he's too big. Because Canelo, if you look at all his opponents at 168, they all been bigger than him, my people. Canelo's never been viewed as a big guy. So Crawford, number one, is a little bit taller, and number two, has more reach than Canelo. He has a reach advantage. So when you take a fighter like Bud, who has a reach advantage over his opponent, and he's a very good boxer, I believe he can outbox him. All that simple. So you see, my conclusion that Terence Crawford is going to outbox Canelo is based off of a lot of different facts that I believe play out in Crawford's favor. Think about this. Bivol beat Canelo, right? At 175. If you watch that fight, Bivol didn't put his weight on Canelo. He wasn't bullying him. He wasn't, pushing him around. He outboxed him. But he outboxed him with his height and reach. He kept tagging Canelo with that 1-2 from the outside. Kept that stick, a jab on Canelo's face from the outside. And he beat him with his height and reach. Outboxed him. They didn't allow Canelo to get on the inside and do what he normally does. So if Terence Crawford has a height and reach advantage on Canelo, it's reasonable also to believe that he can outbox him from the outside. Why not? Terence Crawford is a great boxer. You're saying the weight is going to help him to not be moved, but he don't have to get moved. When you outboxing somebody, you don't have to move him. You outboxing him. His weight didn't help him against Floyd. His weight didn't help everybody. Skills. Let's talk about the skills. Do we really believe that Crawford don't got the skills to outbox him? Because if he got the skills to outbox him, he don't need the weight, my guy. Floyd Mayweather did not need the weight. Floyd Mayweather was little next to Canelo in any way you could look at it. Floyd Mayweather was the guy moving up to fight Canelo. He didn't need no weight. He didn't need to push him around. He beat Canelo without needing the weight. So again, I'm showing you I'm using factual information. Canelo was the smaller fighter. And without weight being an issue, he outboxed Canelo and made it look easy. Dimitri Bivol, the opponent with the most reach. In that fight, he had the most reach. He had the reach advantage on Canelo. And what happened? He used it. He outboxed Canelo. So you keep talking about the weight, but the guys who beat him didn't need the weight. The guys who beat him didn't need power. You see how I'm using the facts? It wasn't a knockout artist that beat Canelo. Both of the guys that beat him are not knockout artists. So you're saying, okay, I agree to disagree, but what are you disagreeing with what I'm saying? Bivol is not a knockout artist. Floyd is not a knockout artist. I'm giving you facts. And two people who were not knockout artists outboxed Canelo for 12 rounds. I'm giving you facts. So what exactly are you disagreeing with? But look, you want to pull out other fights, but we're talking about people who beat Canelo. The people who beat Canelo did not need power. So no matter what fights we look for, we already know for a fact that to beat Canelo, you don't need power, my guy. Floyd Mayweather proved it. Dimitri Bivol proved it. We know for a fact that Canelo could be beat without power. We know for a fact that Canelo could be outboxed. Remember, a lot of people saw Erislandis Lara beating Canelo in that fight. A lot of people to this day feel like Lara won that fight. So what did we see or have we seen in Canelo's career? The two people that beat him didn't have no power. They outboxed him. And then one of the guys that gave him the hardest time in his career with Lara, or another guy that doesn't carry a lot of power, that was trying to outbox him and was being successful a lot of the time. So what I'm trying to show you is that you're clinging on to weight, and I'm telling you, okay, but look at the guys that beat him. The guys that beat him didn't need power, they didn't need weight, they just needed to outbox him. So if those guys were able to outbox him, they already showed us the blueprint to beat Canelo. Look at Charlo was supposed to get Canelo. I thought to outbox, moving up in weight, he had no jab. It was so disappointing. Well, to be honest, I expected Canelo to beat Charlo. Again, that's why I tell people, yo, check out my videos, man. You're going to enjoy it. I put that on video, that Canelo was going to beat the hell out of Charlo. I expected that to happen. But if you look at that fight, that's why I keep saying, yo, you guys put too much emphasis on the weight. Why? Because if you look at that fight, what did Charlo really do? Charlo was out there to survive, yo. He ain't do nothing. He was out there to survive. Canelo wasn't putting his weight on him. Canelo was basically out there bullying him, throwing punches because Charlo wasn't doing nothing. Yo, I'm going to put it to you like this. Jermell Charlo appeared in that fight as if his only plan was to try to not get knocked out. He didn't want to get knocked out, that's all. And he, wanted to make it the distance. But he didn't really look like he went there to try to actually compete and try to win that fight. You see, again, you keep saying that, but Charlo, but we're not talking about Charlo, my guy. We're talking about Bud. And I shouldn't even have to explain the triangle theory because you probably already know it. It don't even make no sense for you to bring up Charlo. That don't make no sense. Like, but Charlo? So, but Floyd, how about but Floyd then? How about but Bivol? And if you look at Charlo's resume, Charlo is a power puncher. Charlo is a guy who's been behind on the cards a bunch of times and knocked out his opponent to win. Charlo is a power puncher. He not a pure boxer. So he not a good comparison. When you see Terrence Crawford, nobody disagreed that he's a great boxer who has power. I know, but it's not, you're looking for examples that match your narrative because you're saying, oh, look at this example. It matches what I'm saying. But again, no example that you look for is going to change the fact that Canelo has been beaten twice by guys who didn't need power, bro. Twice. So you can look for examples that match, your point of view, but it does not change the fact that Floyd Mayweather was smaller than Canelo, hit less than Canelo, and outboxed him easily. Easily. He made Canelo look like an amateur. Dimitri Bivol outboxed Canelo easily. No power involved. No weight bullying. Just outboxing him. Dimitri Bivol outboxed him with his reach. So when I tell you, yo, these guys outboxed Canelo, your comeback is, yeah, but look at Charlo. Charlo couldn't do it. He moved up. Yo, come on. Buck Crawford is not Charlo. You're talking about a whole different fighter. That's why at the end of the day, we have to see Canelo Álvarez and Terrence Crawford share the ring. That's why. Because at the end of the day, all we can have is speculations. Now, I am telling you, notice, your whole Canelo argument so far has been that he's big. That's your Canelo argument. He's big, he's big, he's big. My Terrence Crawford argument is he's a little bit taller. He has more reach. Canelo has been outboxed multiple times. Terrence Crawford is a great boxer. Hence, I feel like he can outbox him. So I have a lot of reasons based on fact as to why I believe what I believe. And when I ask you, what you're telling me is, well, he's bigger. He's 168. Guys moving up to 160. So the only thing that you really have to side with Canelo is his size. And he's not a big dude. That's why I keep telling people, yo, Canelo's not a big guy. Him fighting at 168 doesn't mean that he's a big guy. He moved up to keep winning titles. He not a big dude, my brother. He not. Canelo's a small 168 pounder. And yo, you can look at what I'm saying by simply looking at his fights, who he fought at 168, and look at the face-off. Every single face-off that Canelo has had in the 168 division, he's been the smaller guy. Canelo a small dude, my people. He a small dude. Now, Terrence Crawford, like I said, being a little bit taller, having more reach than Canelo, and he walks around in the 160s and the 170s when he's in between fights. Yo, when he fight Canelo and they face each other, they gonna look about the same size, man. People talking like Canelo's a giant and Terrence Crawford is this little guy. They gonna be about the same size, my people. The size difference is not what y'all think. I promise you that. I promise you that. Look at that. Canelo caves bust chest. Man with the faith in Christ. What's good, my guy? That, you see, he's going to cave in Canelo's chest. You probably thought that he was going to cave in Bivol's chest. And he was going to cave in Floyd's chest. But then they outboxed him and made it look easy. Made Canelo look like an amateur. So when Terrence Crawford come in and outbox him, he's going to be the same deal. What's good, my guy? You already know, man. We talking boxing today, by the way. Floyd Mayweather fighting that exhibition with John Gotti III. I don't really like exhibitions. I don't watch most of them. But this time I'm tuning in. And you know why? If you watch the first exhibition fight between those two, yo, it was a melee after the fight. Both people from both corners was throwing hands and everything in the ring. So you know there's bad blood between those two camps. Not just between Floyd and Gotti. Their camps don't like each other. So I believe tonight is going to be fireworks in that ring. John Gotti III, you know, he feels like he could beat Floyd up just because, you know, he's younger, he's stronger. Floyd is a bit older already. But that's gonna make it interesting. I think Floyd is gonna put the beats on him. Carmel Moulton is fighting tonight as well. If you see my videos, then you know that I predicted Carmel. He's the future of boxing. He's gonna do a lot of special things out there. Bivol is probably the best in the world right now, arguably. Well, we have to see what's gonna happen in his next fight. He's gonna be fighting Beterbiev. Now, Bivol, to be honest, his skills, he is one of the best in the world. I'm not gonna say he's the best in the world, but he's without a doubt one of the best in the world. That's something that we have to acknowledge. I do put a few fighters ahead of him. You got it, yo. He kept that stick on Canelo's face all day long. He basically, yo, Bivol beat Canelo. Height, reach, footwork, boxing. He boxed him for 12 rounds and didn't let him do shit. Let them hands go for sure, for sure. You know what I like about Carmel Moulton? I want y'all to think about this. And if you think of a name, drop it right there in the comment section. When's the last time that you saw an 18-year-old boxer go to the body like Carmel? And I'm not talking about landing a good shot here and there to the body. I'm talking about combinations where it's 5 punches and 3 of those 5 are going to the body. And all 3 of them are getting in flush. Whether it's the left hook, the right hook, the left or the right uppercut, right in the solar plexus. Yo, when is the last time you saw an 18-year-old do that? There's fighters who's already in their prime who don't do it like that to the body. Virgil Ortiz, I will put Virgil Ortiz as one of the guys that does that. But you got to remember, Virgil Ortiz is already, what, 25 years old, I think? 25, 26? Yo, Carmel's 18 years old, my guy. He's a kid. He's a teenager. He's still a teenager. That's why I asked, and I bring up his age, 18 years old, because, yo, I was thinking about it, and I cannot think of an 18-year-old that I've seen do an assault to the body like Carmel does it. I honestly can't, yo. And I've seen, don't twist it, I've seen a lot of 18-year-olds go to the body and go to the body hard. But what I'm saying, the way Carmel does it, where he might go to the body, boom, 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 fall to the body, that go between the guard and land, and have his opponents like, oof, oof, like, take those. Carmel already got a stoppage with a body shot this early in his career. We don't even see kids that age stopping dudes to the body, man. Come on now. You know who's nasty to the body too? Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason is nasty to the body too. The thing about Carmel, at 18 years old, he's far from his prime. Far from it. This kid is like at least 5 years away from his prime. You know, maybe at 23, 24. If he enters his prime at 24 years old, we're talking about 6 years away. So Carmel is going to be a lot stronger than what we already seen him now. And he's going to be a lot better. I don't know how. Like, how is he going to be a lot better? He is. He's a kid right now doing what he's doing. So, yo, I honestly believe that he's going to do a lot of special things. He's going to win titles in multiple divisions. He's going to unify titles. If politics don't get in the way, he'll become undisputed in more than one division. Like, he's going for it all. That's one difference between Carmel Moulton and Tank Davis. If you guys notice, Tank Davis has taken the line of, oh, well, we don't care for titles. Titles are not important. There's too many titles anyways. Carmel's not taking that approach. Carmel is taking the approach of, I want to get the titles. I want to win the belts. I want to make history. Y'all saw, Floyd Mayweather was willing to debut Carmel versus Lee Wood, who a champion. He was really willing to debut Carmel versus a champion. But of course, Lee Wood wasn't having it. He knew what would happen. So he's like, nah, Floyd, you should fight me. Don't put your young lion against me. So Carmel's gonna have to work his way up to a title shot. But he's gonna do a lot of special things in the sport of boxing, man. Nasty. That's a way that we could describe Carmel. He nasty. We talk about a kid that's only 18 years old. So tonight, make sure y'all tune in, my peoples. Make sure you tune in. Carmel's gonna go in there. He's in the undercard with Floyd. So I know he's excited about that. That's down in Mexico. They're gonna do what they do, and then they're gonna celebrate right there in Mexico too. Yeah. By the way, did y'all see Bozy Ennis say that they was willing to take a fight with Teofimo Lopez? If that fight come across the table, that they taking it immediately. Here's the thing that I'm gonna point out, and I want y'all to notice it. Teofimo Lopez been saying for a while, he's been saying it, that he's gonna go to 147 and dethrone Bud Crawford. But I'm asking myself, how are you gonna dethrone Bud at 147 when Crawford already left to 154? He's already a champion at 154, and he's already said he's not coming back down to 147. You're not fighting no Crawford at 147. The same thing with Devin Haney. Devin Haney been saying that he's gonna go to 147 and dethrone Bud. Yo, Bud is not at 147 no more. So, since he not at 147, why y'all don't go up to that division and dethrone Boots? Boots at 147. He got the strap. Go dethrone him. So Bozy say, yo, if Teofimo want to come this way, we'd be happy to take that fight. So are we looking at a way where Teofimo feels like, what, Crawford, he's slowing down, he's older, I could move over and take his shot. But then when he look at Boots, he like, hell no, I'm not fighting him. Is that what he's going to do? And Devin Haney as well? Devin Haney want Crawford at 147, but he don't want Boots? Are we going to see that happen? Listen. Teofimo, that's why sometimes when we say styles make fights, it's not just about the style. And it's not just about the weight. It's about the physical size. And here's what I mean by the physical size. Teofimo could move up to 147 and fight some of the smaller welterweights. Or some of the welterweights who just moved up from 140. Like if Rolly moved up to 147, Teofimo could move up and fight him over there. Cool. But yo, if you see Teofimo standing next to Boots, he looks puny. Puny. Why? Because Teofimo is not a big guy and Boots is a huge welterweight. And look, that's only one division apart. Look at the difference. If you see Terrence Crawford, Canelo Álvarez, yo, they look similar in size. If you see them standing next to each other, they look similar in size. Boots and Teofimo, there's only one division apart. 140, 147. And Boots look huge in front of Teofimo. Why? Because he's a huge welterweight. That's why I expect Boots to be moving up to 154 sooner rather than later. I don't even know how he can make 147. He big as hell. I've seen a lot of people calling Boots a weight bully. He's a big dude, yo. At 147, he's a big dude. So that's why if Teofimo move up to 147 to challenge Boots, I think he gonna get folded. Boots Pop said he gonna take him to the disco. Boots a big dude, my peoples. In that division, she a monster. Like, yo, Boots will be able to move up to 154, move up to 168. Yo, Boots can probably cap his career at 175. Yo, listen, Teofimo, he got that skills, and you know what? He does have a stocky body, you know. But here's the problem. Why I think that he struggles at 147. Look at. Do you remember when Teofimo fought the Asian guy Nakatani? Nakatani gave him some nasty problems, nasty problems, and even there was people that thought he lost that fight, right? And why did Nakatani give him problems? Because Nakatani is a tall fighter with long reach, and he was able to put hands on Teofimo from the outside. So what am I telling you right now? And if you look at tapes, you can see it. Teofimo, throughout his career, he has struggled versus tall fighters who had a lot of reach on him. Even in fights where he ended up knocking a guy out, he ended up closing the distance. But when guys have reach on them, they be putting hands on them. That's been consistent. So you step in there with a guy like Boots, who has huge height and reach on you, yo, he gonna pummel you from the outside. It's gonna be a battering session. That's what I believe. Know what I'm saying? Teofimo, to me, his best that he can get out of himself is at the 140 division, where he can maybe try to chase undisputed status and actually get it. At 147, Teofimo could be a great fighter anywhere he goes, but he's not gonna run the 147 division. He's not gonna be the guy beating everybody in that division. I don't believe it. He got a big mouth. To be honest, I tell people that Teofimo, man, he be delusional at times. You know, according to him, he's a two-division undisputed champion. He never been undisputed. And look, I get what he's saying, you know, but record books don't record what if, right? So if Lomachenko never got stripped, Teofimo would have became undisputed when he beat him. But that's a what if. Lomachenko did get stripped. He did not have the title. The same thing in the 140 division. Josh Taylor got stripped. He did not have the titles when Teofimo beat him. So for you to say I've been undisputed in two divisions is delusional. You never been undisputed in no division. At no point in time, Teofimo has held all four major titles in the same division. And we know that the franchise belt, that fake title, don't even count. It don't even exist anymore, I think. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Ken Grayson, because, you know, you say you don't like the fact that he's saying he wants to fight Bud. Honestly, I believe he wants to fight Bud. I believe him and Devin Haney want to fight Bud at 147 simply because they feel like, number one, Bud is at the tail end of his career and maybe slowing down a bit. And number two, now that he already fought at 154, they feel like he may struggle to make weight at 147. So if you make him fight you at 147, put a little rehydration clause that may go in your favor. So I think it's because of that they want to fight him. Like, they're like, okay, this guy's almost over. Now I could maybe beat him. He lost a step. Because if they really want that smoke with Bud, well, he's leaving the 154. He ain't coming down to 147. Boots is right there. He'll take that fight. I just seen Bozianis the other day saying, yo, we'll take a fight with Teofimo ASAP. So there you have it. You saying you want to fight Crawford? Crawford is not available? Go fight Boots. Go fight Boots. Oh, nah. Listen, the part about Crawford not shining at 154, that's, you know, my boy, that you're a Crawford hater, so you got to come with the Crawford hate. Like, that's the line, but he became a champion in the 154 division and now a 4-division champion. He made more history. So shout out to Bud Crawford for becoming a champion in a new division. Yo, so check it. Haney, right? as far as staying at 135 or 140, I think that he cannot make 140. I mean, he cannot make 135 anymore. Devin has been a weight bully too in that division. Like, if you remember, remember when Devin Haney and Lomachenko fought? That shit looked at like it was a lightweight versus a middleweight. Devin Haney was huge in front of Lomachenko. In the face-off, he looked huge in front of him. During the fight, he looked huge in front of him. And Lomachenko gave him some good work. Y'all gotta admit to that, man. A lot of people saw Lomachenko winning it. I saw Lomachenko winning it, but to be honest, when I watched the fight again, I saw Devin edging it out. Slightly. But it's the type of fight that I think could have gone either way. That's how close it was. Yo, listen, because you see, think about this. Devin Haney was struggling to make 135. Y'all remember those pictures that went viral that he looked like damn near like a crackhead at the weigh-in? Why? Because, it's tough to make that weight for him. He's a big guy for that division. Devin Haney, to me, should be at 147. Hands down, he should be at 147. But they know who's at 147. If you want to go to 147, you're going to have to see Boots. And they don't want that. That's why they just talking about, I'll go to 147 to fight Terrence Crawford when Bud is not even in the division. Oh, yeah, Tail definitely want that payday. He want that payday. But I think he honestly believes that he has a chance versus Crawford because he's only calling out Crawford in that division. He ain't saying nothing about Boots, and he already know they want that action over there. So I would like to see it. But again, my peoples, no, Haney don't for that power to get the respect from the guys there. Look, the thing about Devin Haney is that his frame, he's physically a big kid. He's physically big. So if you're going to struggle to make 140 and end up getting beat up because you struggle to make weight, you're going to have no choice but to move up. You're going to have no choice. Because that's the one thing when we're watching boxing, we're just looking at the fight the way that it's playing out. But we're not really taking the preparation into consideration. There's a lot of fights where the more talented fighter loses because he simply couldn't make weight. And what happens when somebody trying to cut weight and they can't? The last 3 days, they starve. Literally not eating, just drinking water, eating a little piece of this and a little piece of that. They starve. So come fight night, they was not able to rehydrate well, and they still go to the fight weak. So if Devin Haney is going to be struggling at 140 and is going to get beat up or even knocked out because he going to the fight dehydrated, he going to have no choice but to go to 147. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to do it. Now, let me ask y'all a question, my people. Shakur Stevenson now signed with Eddie Hearn, right? And we know that Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez have gone back and forth on social media. What do you guys think about that fight? Do we get Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson in the 140 division? You have to consider the fact that Shakur's already a champion on there. Teofimo's a champion. So we're talking about a unification bout. I agree. Lomachenko lost. He put that was a beautiful performance. To be honest, the first day when I thought that he won the fight, when I watched the fight live, when I thought about it, I think that the reason most people felt Lomachenko won is because we never seen nobody put so many hands on Devin Haney. The fact that he put so many hands on Devin, like, nah, he won. But then when you go back and you watch it and you're not thinking about, the bias or the underdog doing what he's doing, you just watch it. Devin Haney was landing the better shots throughout the fight. There was also times where Lomachenko threw 3, 4 punches that most of them got blocked, but the crowd reacted. Whoa! And when you're watching it live, you're like, oh shit, he put hands on him. But it was a close fight. There were rounds that could have gone either way. Ultimately, I had Devin edging it out. That body work from Haney was nasty, especially that counter when Lomachenko was coming in. That he would, boom, kept landing that thing flush throughout the fight. So it was Lomachenko put on a hell of a performance. Devin Haney edged it out. I tell you what though, if they would have called it a draw, I wouldn't have been mad at the outcome. I would have been good with it. Like, yeah, that's a draw. I'll take that any day of the week. My peoples, remember what I told y'all. If you haven't subscribed, man, go ahead and subscribe. Box Center is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. You're going to find out why if you check out these videos. Now, chill. What are we talking about, chill? Is it the Devin, what I said about Devin? And you know what? I asked you, I mentioned Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson because I want to see that fight. But, Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney is also a fight I want to see. They got history with each other. They fought, in the amateurs. And I think in the pros, they gonna get. Did Shakur and Devin Haney fight in the amateurs? I'm not sure now that I think about it. I know that they sparred. We've seen the sparring session that they had, but I'm not sure if they fought in the amateurs. But obviously, Shakur and Devin have a lot of history with each other, and that's a fight I really want to see, man. Shakur and Devin, now they're both at the 140 division. They have, Shakur signed with Matchroom, and Devin Haney has worked for years with Eddie Hearn. So that's a possible matchup that we can get. With the Devin being overrated, I can't agree with you on that. You're making a decision about Devin, or you're making an opinion about Devin based off of one fight. And then it turned out that Ryan Garcia tested positive for steroids on that one fight, and it was a knockout win. I mean, not a knockout win, but he dropped Devin a bunch of times, hurt him. So you already have to wonder, okay, the steroids could have played the role in that fight. So, you're using the one fight that has controversy behind it, and that's not really fair. It's not really fair. You have to use other fights where there was no steroids, no controversy involved, to be able to make an opinion about Devin. It's not fair that you're just going to use that one fight versus Ryan. Oh, no. I'm not going. Listen, I'm not going. You see, that's the thing. When I tell you the facts and you don't like the facts, then you want to consider them excuses. Ryan Garcia tested positive for steroid. That's a fact. Ryan Garcia is banned from boxing for a year, my guy. That's a fact. So how are the facts being called an excuse? You want Ryan to get his credit for that he doesn't even have on his professional record? They took that win away from his professional record. So I give Ryan his credit for having the skills to do what he did, but it's tainted. That fight is tainted. It's not even in his record as a win. You want to give him credit for the no contest? We'll give him credit for the no contest, but that's about it. Ryan is a drug user. Cat's out the hat. Listen, the whole Ryan Garcia situation, man, is crazy, and for me personally, it's hard to if you notice, I'm telling somebody he tested positive because that's a fact. But I'm also not willing to say that he did it on purpose or that he's guilty of doing that on purpose, just because I've seen fighters signed to Snack or who worked with Victor Conte, like Sugar Shane Mosley, who said, "Yo, I didn't know they was giving me son that has steroids." If you've been watching boxing long enough, you may be aware that Sugar Shane Mosley tested positive a long time ago. He tested positive for steroids. Matter of fact, he tested positive for steroids when he was going to fight Oscar De La Hoya. And it was Victor Conte who was giving him supplements. And he said, yo, I believe Ryan Garcia because they did the same shit to me too. They gave me stuff that I didn't know what it was. And then I tested positive for steroids. So in all honesty, I don't know. I'm not willing to go out on a limb and say Ryan cheated knowingly. He know that I honestly don't know that. I think there is a possibility that he took something unknowingly. So this is what I judge Ryan Garcia off of. At this time, Ryan Garcia hasn't beaten any champions. He got stopped by Tank Davis. I think that his best win would be the Spanish guy. I can't remember his name. I think the guy's Dominican that he beat. I think that's probably. Oh no. Jeff Horn. Was it Jeff Horn that he fought? So Ryan Garcia has a couple of good wins in his resume, but he doesn't have anything big that you can say, yo, Ryan Garcia. He doesn't have, he would have had that win versus Devin Haney, which would have made his resume a lot better, but it's not a win. So, you're holding on to, he beat him up, yo. He tested positive for steroid. The win is not on his record, and he's banned from boxing. That's the reality of that fight. You see? Come on. You see, NYC Alex? That's the thing, my boy. You like to say a lot of things without any evidence. You like to say a lot of things that you just heard it somewhere else and you repeat it, and there's no evidence behind it. Like you're saying that Manny Pacquiao was juicing back when Floyd Mayweather, whatever. Yo, Manny Pacquiao has never tested positive for steroids. So how did you decide that he was juicing? Conspiracies. You decided that he was juicing the same way you decided that Errol Spence was in the ICU for 2 weeks. Like, there's literally nothing to back you up, my guy. Like, why would you say somebody's juicing when they never tested positive, when there is no evidence that they were juicing? That's a bad argument. If you want to hate on somebody, look for things that really happened and use that to hate. If you want to hate on Pac-Man, yo, say that he got knocked out by Marquez. He got slept. Look at that meme with him sleeping. That's, you know what I'm saying, hate him. You could use the facts. But you're going to say that Pacquiao was on steroid because Mayweather said it? Yo, Floyd Mayweather was on steroid because Pac-Man said it then. Like, what somebody said really, like, that's your evidence, what somebody said? What his opponent said? Come on, bro. You got to stop making stuff up, my people. That's the problem with us boxing fans. Fans of other sports, they stick with the facts and they argue about the facts. But fans of boxing, yo, we be making up our own shit the way we think it was. Oh, he knocked somebody out. He got to be on steroids. Never tested positive on steroids, but he's on steroids just because that's what I want to believe. Yo, I'm going to put it to you like this, my guy. Steroids is a nasty accusation. It's wrong for you to accuse somebody of steroids with no evidence of it, bro. You shouldn't even do that. And what you're saying right there, that Pacquiao never wanted to drug test, that's a lie. You're lying. Again, you're making stuff up. Pacquiao has never even missed a drug test. What really happened, let me clarify that for you and actually tell the truth, because you're lying. What really happened is that Floyd Mayweather wanted Olympic-style testing, which requires them to draw blood from you. Pacquiao, because he was a Christian or is a Christian, in their faith, they don't believe in having blood drawn out. So he didn't want to do that process. That's what that was. What you're saying that he never wanted to do drug tests, that's a lie. He's always been drug tested. He just didn't want a special type of drug test that Floyd wanted. But guess what? If you're saying that Pacquiao was doing steroids, but he never got caught, right? You know that IVs are banned from boxing. Floyd got caught with an IV. So if Floyd got caught with an IV, why you don't think he was juicing? Floyd got caught with an IV the day before the Pac-Man fight, red-handed. And guess what? You know why IVs are illegal? Because they can be used to mask steroids. IVs are illegal because you can take steroids and then use the IV to mask them. He was rehydrating. So what you're telling me is that you believe Floyd, but you don't believe Pacquiao. How good is that argument, my brother? Oh no, he was just rehydrating illegally with IVs, but it was just rehydrating. My nigga, you could rehydrate drinking Gatorade. What are you talking about? So again, you're showing your bias, because for Pacquiao, with no evidence, you're saying that he was juicing, but for Floyd, with evidence that he took illegal IVs, oh no, he was just rehydrating. He was innocently rehydrating. You don't make no sense, my brother, because you're giving one energy to Pacquiao, and to Floyd, you're giving a different energy. You want to believe Floyd. Floyd is telling you the truth. Come on, my brother. Come on, my brother. You just and here's the deal. You're saying there's many ways to rehydrate. You're right about that. But it's only one way to use IVs, and that one way is illegal. Floyd got caught using IVs. Nobody knows what was inside of those IVs. He said that he was using it to rehydrate, and you choose to believe him. You don't know what he was doing with those IVs. Now, I'm not going to tell you that Floyd was doing steroids, because I don't have proof that he was doing steroids. But I know that he was illegally using IVs, and I know that IVs are banned because they can be used to mask steroids. I know that. So there is evidence that can make Floyd suspicious about steroids. And what do you say when that evidence comes up? Oh, no, he was rehydrating. He told me he was rehydrating. It's all good. Why did he choose an illegal method to rehydrate? Why would he use a process that will make him seem suspicious to rehydrate? Why would Floyd rehydrate in his own area on the low and get caught red-handed? I don't know, but if you're doing something legally, it doesn't seem like you need to hide to do it. So if me and you go facts for facts, who's more suspicious about steroid, Floyd or Pac-Man? Let's go facts for facts. What you got on Pac-Man and what I got on Floyd, and let's see who's more suspicious. So at the end of the day, we don't have evidence for neither fighter having done steroids. But if you think one did steroids when there's no evidence, but Floyd is innocent when he got caught with the illegal IVs, then it shows that you're being biased. You don't like Pac-Man, you gonna go at him, and you like Floyd, you're gonna defend him. That's just the way it's gonna play out. He was not supposed to use IVs, but there were no drugs involved. Right? Nothing was said about drugs. So here's the thing. Ray Ran 214. I want you to remember this. The only thing that was disclosed is that Floyd was caught red-handed with the IVs. But it was not disclosed what was being put into his system. We don't know. We don't know what was being put into his system. And also, IVs can be used to mask steroids, which means you got steroids in your system and they use the IV to flush it out. So that now when they test you after the fight, you're going to be clean because the IV flushed it out of your system. Now again, my peoples, I'm not saying that Floyd is guilty of anything. What I'm telling you is that there is reason to believe, hey, this is suspect. He did it on the low. And I don't know if you guys knew this. Yo, Manny Pacquiao was told that Floyd got caught with the IVs after the fight. They didn't even tell that nigga right away. Remember, when they caught Floyd with the IV, what they were supposed to do was go to Pac-Man right away to his team and say, yo, this dude got caught with this. How you want to proceed? They didn't even tell Pac-Man and his team. After the fight, that's when they told him. So come on now. Come on now. If you want to accuse one guy of steroids with no evidence, well, then let's accuse another guy of steroids when there's suspicious activity going on. That's all I'm saying. We got to keep that same energy. Oh, now Floyd is the GOAT. Floyd is the GOAT. Hands down. There ain't no getting around that. Beat the most champions, retired undefeated, made the most money. Floyd Mayweather's the GOAT. Ain't no getting around that. Beat Pac-Man in their matchup with each other. And it looks like we'll probably never get a rematch. So, Floyd is the one. Whether or not he did steroids for that Pac-Man fight or at any point, I don't know. That, you see, that's what I can tell you. There's some suspicious activity, but I don't know. But people who talk about Pac-Man, they don't know and be like, yeah, Floyd, what's up, Victor Gomez? And be like, yeah, Pac-Man did steroids. Pac-Man did steroids. And I'll be like, yo, how do you come with the conclusion that Pac-Man did steroids with zero, without a shred of evidence? So I say this to all my peoples. When it comes to steroid accusations, my peoples, don't accuse fighters that way, man. That's an ugly accusation to say this person did steroids. And then you're going to say it about somebody that never tested positive, somebody that there is no evidence that they ever did steroids, just because you don't like a fighter. That's not even cool. You know, because at that point, you're not being a fan of boxing. You're being a hater of a fighter. And once you become a hater of a fighter, you're not even looking at boxing as a whole, everything that's going on. You just want to always try to point at that guy, and always try to even make stuff up about fighters that never even happened. So instead of, us trying to hate on somebody, yo, let's put the focus on those fighters that we support. You know what I'm saying? Support the guys that you like instead of trying to hate on the guys that you don't. But again, like I told y'all before, Terrence Bud Crawford is going to beat Canelo Álvarez. Shakur Stevenson is going to beat Tank Davis. And tonight, Floyd Mayweather is going to put the beats on John Gotti III in that exhibition. And Kermel Moulton is going to win by knockout. I'm going to go ahead and predict the knockout. That's how I'm feeling about that. My peoples, I appreciate y'all jumping in with me. Real talk. I'm going to drop off now. And at about 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to be back on live. Break down some of what we're going to see with these fights tonight. And tonight for the fights, I may be live to give you guys a round-by-round reaction. So just in case, stay tuned because we're going to give you that real boxing. To be honest, I don't know where you can watch it. I mean, a Fire Stick. A Fire Stick, my peoples. Nah, I got a Fire Stick. I got a Fire Stick. I'm watching that. I'm watching Floyd doing what he got to do. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be on the Zone. Because you know that Floyd been fighting on the zone lately. Oh, that's where meth streams. Well, I don't have to go there because I got, like I said, I got my ways to watching a fight. So I'm definitely tuning in. I'm going to give you the round by round reaction. Yo, my boy Ray Ren, 214. Always, my brother, appreciate you hopping on with me. Victor Gomez, always be down with me. NYC Alex 845, man. You biased as hell, man, but you my guy. I appreciate you jumping in. No matter how much you hate on Crawford and you hate on Shakur, you my guy. I appreciate you hopping on, yo. Y'all already know, my people's Box Center. Your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. I'll see you guys later on tonight, man. Peace.